What if the most powerful technology ever created is being built faster than we can understand it? What if the people building it don't fully understand it either? And what if the future of intelligence is already being decided behind closed doors? Before we get into this, make sure you're subscribed so that you're never the last to know. Hit the bell and join the investigation. OpenAI didn't start as a corporation. It started as a promise. Founded in 2015, its mission was simple: build artificial intelligence that benefits all of humanity. No monopolies, no control, no profit-driven incentives, just open research for everyone. This was the foundation of a non-profit ideal. The goal was to prevent the centralization of intelligence, ensuring that the most powerful tool in history would never be owned by a single private entity. The early years were defined by pure research. From OpenAI Gym to advanced reinforcement learning, the lab focused on teaching machines to navigate complex physical and virtual environments. Commitment to transparency was absolute. Every paper, every finding, and every line of code was published for the world to see, in the spirit of true scientific collaboration. But as the models grew more capable, the policy of radical openness began to fracture. The first internal debates emerged. Could we afford to be open when the tech was becoming dangerous? The fear of creating something uncontrollable became real. The focus shifted from pure research to alignment, the complex process of making AI behave in ways that are safe. But the pure research model was hitting a wall, the wall of compute costs. Scaling these models required processing power that a non-profit budget could no longer sustain. GPT-2 showed the world what was possible and what was dangerous. OpenAI initially refused to release the full model, citing safety concerns. The open era was ending. The mission was still for humanity, but the path was becoming proprietary. The pressure to scale was forcing a choice between the original ideal and the need for capital. By 2018, the lab realized that to reach its goal of AGI, it needed access to resources that only the world's largest corporations possessed. The shift was inevitable. Somewhere along the way, OpenAI stopped being just a research lab. It became something else, setting the stage for the billion-dollar shift. To scale to the level required for AGI, OpenAI underwent a fundamental structural shift. In 2019, it transitioned from a pure nonprofit to a capped profit model, paving the way for unprecedented capital. Microsoft's involvement began with a $1 billion commitment. By 2023, following the viral success of ChatGPT, total investment tranches reached $13 billion. The 2023 agreement contains a unique profit-sharing clause. Microsoft is entitled to 75% of OpenAI's profits until its $13 billion principal is returned. Once the principal is repaid, Microsoft's profit share drops to 49%, though its minority stake in OpenAI Global LLC remains a defining pillar of the partnership. Despite the massive financial stake, Microsoft holds only a non-voting observer seat on the board. The non-profit board retains governance, creating a delicate balance between capital and mission. The investment wasn't just cash, it was compute. Azure, Microsoft's cloud platform, became the exclusive provider for OpenAI, turning raw processing power into strategic equity. This massive concentration of capital triggered global antitrust investigations. Regulators in the US and Europe are questioning if this constitutes a quasi-merger that threatens market competition. But the demand for intelligence outpaced even Microsoft's capacity. In 2025, OpenAI signed a massive $100 billion infrastructure deal with Amazon Web Services. This was followed by a $50 billion deal with Oracle. The exclusive era with Microsoft ended as OpenAI pivoted to a multi-cloud strategy to sustain its growth. By 2026, the agreements were amended. Microsoft's license to OpenAI models shifted from exclusive to non-exclusive, granting OpenAI greater operational flexibility. Simultaneously, Microsoft's 20% revenue share was locked in through 2030, but capped at a fixed dollar amount, protecting OpenAI's future profitability. These moves cleared the path for a potential IPO. Microsoft's stake in the new entity was valued at approximately $135 billion as of October 2025. The investment was no longer just about research. It was about building the most valuable infrastructure company on Earth, setting the stage for the Stargate roadmap. Beyond the tranches in equity, the true scale of OpenAI's shift is measured in physical infrastructure. To reach AGI, the partnership requires resources on an unprecedented global scale. This is Project Stargate. a 5-phase roadmap for a massive AI supercomputer data center facility estimated to cost over $115 billion. The project is structured in 5 meticulous phases. Phases 1 through 3 establish the initial clusters that power GPT-4 and its immediate successors. Phase 4 is already underway. A precursor supercomputer is expected to launch as early as 2026 in Wisconsin, serving as the final testbed for the full-scale Phase 5 system. Targeted for 2028, Phase 5 represents the full realization of Stargate. It is projected to be 100 times more expensive than the largest data centers in operation today. The infrastructure demand has hit a wall: energy. Stargate will require over 5 gigawatts of power, equivalent to the output of multiple nuclear reactors. This energy gap is forcing the partnership to invest directly in nuclear energy solutions, exploring small modular reactors to fuel millions of specialized AI chips. At the hardware level, a critical shift is happening. OpenAI is moving away from proprietary InfiniBand networking in favor of open Ethernet-based architectures. This technical pivot is designed to increase operational flexibility and reduce long-term reliance on proprietary NVIDIA networking hardware as the models scale. The construction logistics are equivalent to major public works projects. Thousands of GPU nodes, high-performance cooling systems, and specialized power grids must be built from scratch. This physical expansion represents the next frontier. As the virtual world grows, the physical footprint required to sustain it is reshaping geography itself. The goal is to scale beyond current data center limits, building a planetary-scale computer capable of housing the first artificial general intelligence. Project Stargate is the physical manifestation of OpenAI's ambition, a $100 billion bet that the black box can be scaled until it explains the world. The physical scale of infrastructure is matched only by the technical mystery within. As models grow, the distance between capability and understanding widens. Modern AI systems are often called black boxes. Even the architects do not fully understand how they arrive at their conclusions. They learn patterns, but they don't explain themselves. This is the interpretability gap, a growing distance between what a model can do and our ability to explain why it does it. This technical mystery creates a unique legal tension. Microsoft's commercial license is restricted to pre-AGI technology. AGI is defined as a highly autonomous system that outperforms humans at most economically valuable work. If the OpenAI board unilaterally declares that AGI has been reached, the commercial license with Microsoft terminates. The connection between the research and the corporation breaks. But who holds the power to make that declaration? AI requires massive data and infrastructure, resources controlled by only a handful of global organizations. For the first time in history, the ability to build intelligence itself is a private monopoly. The governance of these systems is increasingly concentrated. This concentration leads to a high-stakes race, faster models, smarter systems, because in this space, speed wins, and being second doesn't matter. But the faster the race, the less time there is for deep safety reflection. Alignment becomes a tool of control rather than just a technical challenge. Alignment isn't neutral. Someone has to decide what is safe, what is acceptable, and what is true. Those decisions are fundamentally human and political. These decisions are influenced by the culture, policy, and interests of the organizations that own the infrastructure. The future of intelligence is being decided behind closed doors. The real question isn't just what these companies are doing, it's who decides what intelligence becomes. We are building something that will eventually reshape us. Those who control the compute control the definition of truth. For the first time, we are engineering the architecture of thought itself. Intelligence is no longer natural. It's engineered, scaled, and controlled, setting the stage for the final transformation of our world. Because the future of AI isn't just being built, it's being decided right now by a select few. Part 4 is concluded. Outside the labs, the impact is already visible. Writers, designers, and developers are seeing their roles transformed overnight. Entire industries are being reshaped. Data from the last 24 months shows a 40% restructuring of roles in technical writing and junior development. The speed of adoption is outpacing the speed of adaptation. AI doesn't just automate tasks. It changes value. It changes who gets paid. It changes what skills matter. This isn't just about efficiency, it's about industrial displacement. And while some gain unprecedented efficiency, others are finding themselves pushed to the margins. They lose relevance, not suddenly, but through a gradual erosion of necessity. There's another shift happening. quietly. We are starting to rely on AI not just for information, but for thinking, for writing our words, for making our decisions. At first, it feels like assistance, a helpful tool, but over time, that assistance becomes dependence, and the more we outsource intelligence, the less we practice it ourselves. Psychological studies suggest a risk of cognitive outsourcing. When the machine provides the answer, the human mind stops asking the question. We are trading critical thinking for raw speed. This is why alignment matters, making AI behave in ways that are safe. But here's the truth. Alignment isn't neutral. It is decided by human culture, policy, and power. Someone has to decide what is safe, what is acceptable, what is true. And those decisions aren't technical, they are political. They are influenced by those in power. The governance of these systems is increasingly concentrated. A handful of boards and corporate partners now set the ethical guardrails for intelligence that will impact billions of people. This isn't a story about villains. OpenAI is a signal that we are entering a world where intelligence is no longer natural. It's engineered, scaled, controlled. The real question isn't, what is OpenAI doing? It's, who decides what AI becomes? And whether we're building tools, or something that will eventually reshape us. Because the future of intelligence isn't just being built, it's being decided right now, behind closed doors, and the consequences will be felt by all of us. This was the story of OpenAI. We uncover the hidden forces in tech, business, and AI that are shaping our future, so that you're never the last to know. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the like button and the bell icon to join the investigation and stay ahead of the curve. The story of intelligence is only beginning. See you in the next investigation.